Gingerbread men freak me out. I don't know why, they just do. But today I've decided to face my fears and make this gingerbread syrup recipe. I hope you're brave enough to follow along on this journey, so let's get started. This recipe makes 1.5 cups of gingerbread syrup, and the ingredients are also found in the video description below. For step 1, we'll need 1 cup of water, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/4 cup of maple syrup, 1/4 cup of molasses. We'll also need the holiday spices, including 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. I know that's a lot of ingredients, but this recipe is very simple to put together. Grab a small or medium saucepan, then add in your water, then add in the 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Next up is the 1/4 cup of maple syrup. Then it's time for the 1/4 cup of molasses. It can take a little longer to add in, so take your time. Then it's time to add in the holiday spices, including 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and finally 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. Once you have all those ingredients added, it's time to stir everything together. Then set your stovetop to medium heat. While it's on medium heat, bring the mixture to a low boil. Make sure to stir consistently until the sugar and spices are completely dissolved. I even had the kids help stir a bit. And this is how the mixture looked after heating for a couple minutes. And 5 minutes in, it was at a low boil. When it begins to boil, reduce the stovetop heat to low. Continue to simmer on low heat another 7 to 10 minutes. Continue to stir occasionally. The syrup should begin to slightly thicken over time. While it finishes simmering, it's time for our quick goose fact. Did you know that Canada geese usually fly at an altitude of around 2,000 to 3,000 feet while migrating? But they've been spotted as high as 29,000 feet. I hope they aren't scared of heights. And now back to the syrup. Once it finishes simmering 7 to 10 minutes, it should look something like this. It smells absolutely amazing, like you're baking gingerbread cookies. Next, turn off the heat to your stovetop. And make sure to completely remove your saucepan from heat. And now, I hope you're ready for it. It's time for the final ingredient. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Carefully add your teaspoon of vanilla extract to the cooling syrup mixture. Stir it well to make sure it mixes properly. Allow the syrup to cool for a few minutes and then it's ready to be used. Whatever you don't use immediately can be transferred to an airtight container. I used a measuring cup to make this part easier because I am a huge mess. I usually store the syrup in these swing top glass bottles. They're easy to secure and of course they look cool. Once you have the syrup secured in an airtight container, store it in the fridge and it'll stay fresh for 3 to 4 weeks. But before we finish up, I wanted to quickly present to you some custom holiday artwork provided by one of my many talented kids. This piece actually did follow the holiday theme. You never know what you're gonna get. If you enjoyed this fun gingerbread syrup recipe and the associated professional artwork, please subscribe. We're a small channel and it truly does mean a lot to us. Congrats! Now we finished the gingerbread syrup recipe. You can use it for your next latte or even give it as a gift. Everyone loves the sweetness and richness of this wonderful syrup. Now that we finished this recipe, you need to check out another holiday favorite, our homemade peppermint mocha. See you there!